You're international. Here from McCurdy's Comedy Theater and Humor Institute. It almost sounds like there's a second floor on this place. If nobody knew any different, and this was it right here. We're joined by Rahn Hortman and Jodi White, who are headliners tonight. And our crowd, who is made up from people from strange parts of Sarasota and the Pingy Chiropractic Bowling League. That's right. And the greater Newport Richey area. Greater Newport Richey. That's for people listening on the web, they're going, I've never heard of that destination in Florida. I wonder how nice it is in Newport Richey. Well, I'll tell you one thing, if you're looking out for a good deal on a retirement home, Newport Richey might be your spot. I'll take a beer. You guys have a drink? You like a Jägermeister, Ron?
I'll take a Coke.
A Coke?
Coke, yes.
Okay, good. Newport Richey. Ron.
A must-see.
And remember, we'll open up some questions in a little bit to you guys in the audience. As I said before, Rahn Hortman, I got to know through the comedy competition, Florida's Funniest, and we had well over 100 that auditioned and tried out, and Rahn ended up in the top 4 finalists, and deserving so. It was, I can tell you from a judge's point of view, it was not like, we had 20 that could have been. It really came down to 4 of you who were very obviously. Now, I don't know if that's particularly a really good thing or that there's only 4 guys in the state of Florida worth of crap. But no, there were some funny people. You really did. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
And you said that in your show earlier, didn't you?
Yes,
so when did you come to Florida?
Technically in 2005, I believe.
Now, technically means, what does that mean, technically?
I don't know the actual date. So
Okay. Sometime in the year of 2005.
Yeah, it was a Wednesday.
Gotcha.
We
No, man, you come down and visit, I don't know, whatever. And then you, now growing up in Milwaukee, you were there most of your life. Big family?
Moderate size. I have 3 brothers. I'm the oldest of 3 boys.
Oldest of 3 boys?
Yeah.
And now, any one of them entertainers? Anybody in your family an entertainer?
No, you know what? No, they're not. People that sing in church choirs and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So that's entertaining.
Yeah.
My grandfather was quite a character, and my pops. He was definitely. Well, my dad. If you follow the story, my dad was quite a character. He passed away, but yeah. So he was very entertaining. Very entertaining.
And Jodi, you grew up right here in this area.
I was born and raised right here in Sarasota, as were my parents and their parents.
Wow.
Yeah, my great-grandfather was the first elected sheriff in Sarasota County. I've got a picture of him on Main Street when it was still a dirt road, sitting on a horse with a 10-gallon hat and a silver star. Yeah, real Florida cracker.
Wow. And so the fact that you don't own a lot of property in this town must really piss you off.
I owned a lot of property in this town. The bank owns it now.
Oh,
yeah.
You got rid of that.
Yeah, we got rid of that.
So your grandfather was the sheriff?
My great-grandfather.
Your great-grandfather, and then you kind of decided to be Miss Kitty.
Yeah, the little
Kinda,
whore on
sorta.
stage. Come up and see me sometime.
I know. That's what you depict. I know, and I know Jodi. She's a whore.
She's a whore.
And, hey, call it like it is. You've had a good time in the green room. I can tell you that. It's been a hell of a week. Family, brothers, sisters.
I have kind of a weird family. I didn't mention it in my show tonight, which I usually do, but I was given up for adoption at birth. 6 years ago, I found my birth mom, so now I have 2 families. I was raised with 2 brothers. mom and dad, and then I found my mom and my birth dad, and I've got a couple of siblings, and so I've got lots of family now.
That's awesome.
And
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, really exciting.
an applaud. Half people cared, and the rest really didn't seem to
They're
care
like,
much at all.
Fuck it, there's a reason they gave her up. She's a whore.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There you go. You went whore early, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Are you a whore, Ron?
No, I'm not anymore.
Okay. Not anymore.
He says that because
Gave
his
it up.
wife's sitting back there.
You gave up your whoring. Well, all right. Look, there's
At least
people
Jodi knew
leaving.
what she wanted
We've
to
run off the whore haters. I don't blame
gonna
you.
put a
I don't
scarlet
blame you,
letter on
sir.
me.
You made a good decision.
It'll ruin your marriage,
Scarlet
sir.
That's right. You're did you both go to college, Ron?
Yeah, I went.
Okay.
I'll tell you what happened, though.
Okay.
Okay. I started, right, and I had a little one. And so I had to, provide for the family.
Very
and
good.
so I sacrificed my life for them.
I'm glad we got that out in a way that they'll have to see that the rest of their life, and it'll make them cry.
Yeah.
That's nice. And did you go to college, Jodi?
I went to, I was an adult student like Ron because I had kids. I went to Manatee Community College, which I don't even think is Manatee. It took me 6 years to get my 2-year degree. Yeah. Got a scholarship to go to USF. I was pre-med and adopted a little girl and decided that was more important and dropped out of college. Now I have $46,000 in student loans to buy some fucking t-shirts after the show.
There you go. That's right. That's right.
Hey, did the manatees have a mascot?
The Manatee
College.
Community College?
Yeah.
They were, do you remember what they were when they were MCC?
I don't.
They were the Fighting Lancers.
Oh, yeah, yeah. The girls.
They were the Lancers.
Girls softball.
You can't even say that without lisping.
Lance.
You can't. They were the Fighting Lancers. It was like we'll draw blood if you're a diabetic. We're the Lancers. And now they've changed to State College of Florida because now they're a 4-year college, and they are the Sea Cows.
Nice.
Yeah. The Fighting Manatees. Nothing strikes fear.
I don't think we're getting a
The
shot
heart
of
of an
Jaeger.
opponent, like the flipper of a manatee. So that's what they are. Now,
Shot of Jaeger.
I want to ask Jodi
Shot
a
of
question, and it's because I know Jodi. Jodi came through our comedy classes here, and developed here on our stage. And when you mentioned you grew up, you were adopted. A lot of that was in your show.
Yeah.
Yes. And I remember that when you were first working that out, your material was so honest about your life that the audience didn't know whether it was okay to laugh at it. We talked about that.
Yeah.
They didn't know whether it was okay to laugh or whether they wanted to hug her and empathize with her. Really, it was a real challenge.
Yeah, but it was still working out the adoption issues, and it was so dark, my way of dealing with it. Like I was actually born with a broken collarbone, and I like to joke that it's when my mom threw me in the dumpster, I bounced off the side. See, there you go. To me, that's freaking funny. To you, you're like, oh, she threw her in the dumpster.
That's funny.
Oh, it's funny.
That's
you
funny.
know, it is.
Little creepy, but funny.
Exactly. And that was, I remember that being your greatest challenge because the material, I think that the comedy material that is really close to you and sometimes on the dark side is the type of material that is the best. It's provocative and it's real, but it's how do you get that across? And I remember we talked about it had to be in the delivery. how you took. Somehow you had to let the audience know that it was okay to laugh at this, that you were okay with it.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to tell you how to do that.
And some of those jokes you just have to let go, because everything I say tonight on stage is true. You know, I was 40, I was divorced, I have a gay son, I have a crazy son that actually adopted a third world hungry child drunk off the You know, everything I do on stage is true in one way or another, but I had to find a way to make it funny and acceptable to you and not just funny to me. You know, like tonight I left out the gang rape joke. Come back Friday Night Late Show and you can hear that one. So, you know.
That's looking forward to that. That'll bring you back. Ron, you got any gang rape jokes? We need no. And your material is, as so many of it reflects your life also.
Yes, sir.
And now, kind of backtracking a little bit, did you? Jägermeister and a Coke.
Oh, he got his Coke.
Did he get his Coke, but you didn't get your Jägermeister?
I don't like
Wow, they didn't.
She's a whore.
She's a
Give her
whore.
Jaeger.
Do not give a whore Jägermeister while she's on the World Wide Web. This will turn into a YouTube. I tell you, we'll get more hits than we've ever gotten, ever. This white guy and this black guy had sex with her. It's crazy. With this whore. Anyway. Ron, I ask you first. I'm going to ask you the same question. Well, I know Jodi's. Did you go immediately into comedy very, very young, or did you have other jobs, another career before that?
Well, the longest job I ever had, I was an exterminator. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Marcella.
And the fear drove me because I was so scared of bugs and all that, and that was my thing that helped me keep going. I hate touching me, and a moth flew in my ear once. It's a long story, but I killed bugs for a long time, and I didn't start comedy until I moved down here to Florida because I was too scared to do it at home, but I was always the little guy. And everybody used to joke, all the short people joke, so I got funny by talking about things before people could talk about me. And I always said I would watch TV, and I was like, I could do that. I could do that. And so when I got down here, I tried it, and I didn't have the pressure of people that knew me say, oh, you know, you were terrible, and it worked out.
So it gave you a chance to keep going. So you did it from behind. And so you just went up on open mic nights and fired away until you got good.
Yeah.
And Jodi came through our classes here. I did. And now the difference in when you see people that go without the classes, and do you feel like that gave you any edge, any different way of approaching getting into the business?
Oh, absolutely. Because you see the young guys that start that don't take the classes, and they go right out on stage and do the mom threw me in a dumpster joke, punch the girl, abortion down the stairs. I mean, horrible, horrible stuff because they don't have any direction. They don't know to move the mic stand out of the way. They don't know how to look at the audience. They don't know anything. So taking the class definitely gave me an edge. But I was doing Toastmasters, public speaking, and had all these sappy stories about being adopted that literally made people cry. They were bringing tissues to the meeting each week, and they were like, Jodi, we've had enough. Go take the comedy class. Please, for God's sake, take the comedy class. So that's how I ended up here. I never wanted to be a comic, but I took Les's class and was like, holy shit, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. So here I am, 300,000 miles later.
And, yeah, in that car.
Big Les.
You've been a comic for how long, Ron?
I'm saying about 5 years now.
5 years. So, and Jodi?
This summer will be the 5-year anniversary of taking the class.
5 years. And I'm going to tell you, 5 years, and you're both now you're just starting to headline clubs. And that's relatively quick in this business. What is as you begin to go into these rooms as a headliner for the first time, what is the difference in the way you feel?
Well, with me, there's a pressure that, everybody came to see you, and you don't want to let the crowd down. You don't want to let the establishment down. They brung you. You're representing the club that you're playing in front of. And you hate to say, like, hey, everybody was funny except the last person that I spent my money to see. I'd like a refund. And you don't want to be that guy. And when you travel to other places, it's kind of hard because it's like when you're in your neighborhood. You could be the tough guy in your neighborhood, but when you go outside, there's a lot of funny people, and so you have to rise to the occasion every time you go somewhere. And I know my comedy is a little different because I don't curse at all on stage, and a lot. What? Oh, what? She's a whore. But the dynamic of that is that if you tell people that you're clean, they don't think that you're funny. So you have to, sometimes I don't tell people. I just try to let the comedy speak for itself. But like, for example, Jodi is funny, right? Funny. The show might have went different if she went first and then I went after, or any given night it could be like that. But you have to step up to it. So that's the challenge for me.
Well, and yourself, you feeling the same way?
Yeah, I peed like 6 times in 30 minutes. I sat in the back room listening to Ron on stage and you guys clapping and laughing and everything, going, holy shit, I got to follow that. God damn it. You hyperventilate a little bit because you don't want to let down the crowd. But the funny thing about comedy, it's just like music. Everybody has a different taste. So we bring a little something in the show for everybody. You can't say, oh, grandma likes music, let's take her to see Def Leppard.
Awesome.
It doesn't work. So I think overall it brings, a little something for everybody. But there is that pressure because you don't want to be the unfunny person. There's nothing worse than standing at the back door and having them look at the other person going, you were really funny, and then just walking right past you, and you're like, oh, don't do that tonight.
No, this is how they do it. They're like, you were really funny. That guy over there. Right while you standing right there, that's how they do it. Yeah.
I tell you, and when you put yourself up here, you're putting yourself out to that. And I know that I remember experiencing that same thing, that you want a headline so bad. And did I miss something? Did you adjust your Spanx? What? Her knees were showing? Wow. Is this a callback? Very nice. Very nice. Very attentive crowd. There's going to be a quiz. Wow. I made an A on my Jodi White exam. But it's true. You get so geared up to headline, and that's the place where you want to be. And then you start headlining, and you think, well, it's just I've gone from being the opening act, the guy who starts the show, and most clubs that's your act that's been doing it the least amount of time, and he does 10, 15 minutes. You go, I can do that good, and then you become the middle act, and they're giving you 25, 30 minutes, and you're doing that really well, and you go, oh, wait, and then I just go be headliner. But then you go out and you start headlining, and the pressure that hits you is so keen in that if everything before you, if all the comics before you are great and they just kill, you got to follow it. You have to bring it up a notch. And if everybody before you is horrible, just sucks, you have to save the show. You're it in any way, shape, or form. And the fun part of it is when you get to that point where you know you're going to do it, and you guys are there. I guess since you're fairly new and you're out there working, I know you are. You're out there working every money gig you can get your hands on. Because I know at the place where you are, it's like somebody says, I got some money and you got a night off and we'll pay you. You're going wherever the hell it is, everywhere.
Go.
Both of you, give us a recent hell gig. Because I know you've had one. Jodi's already lit up on hers. I don't care who goes first. You know.
First.
Yeah, either.
Well, the most recent one.
The most recent one. That's right.
I actually did a show for 2 people. Catherine and Joseph. I'll never forget their name. So, like, y'all still gonna do the show? They're like, yeah, we're gonna do the show. I'm like, it's 2 people. They came to see a show. So, going up there and how y'all doing? Catherine and Joseph. And I'm telling jokes. They're laughing and. But when I made it through that, I honestly felt like, oh, I can do anything now, because
Jodi?
I was in Clayton, North Carolina a couple of months. I have to preface this. I was born and raised in Sarasota, Florida. My dad had an airboat. We had a cabin in the Everglades. I learned to swim off the side of an airboat on Lake Okeechobee. My family was Southern. And I was just in Clayton, North Carolina. And the crowd was so redneck, hillbilly, Cajun. They were yelling shit constantly, and I couldn't understand a fucking word they were saying. Couldn't understand them. And then I'm looking out at all these drunk redneck hillbillies, and I'm thinking, this drunk crowd is like a recipe to get raped later. I'm not even worried about the men. I'm worried about the way their toothless women are eyeing me. I'm like, holy shit. Oh, my God. Yeah, it's special traveling around the country. It is.
Never let me go there, wherever that go. Thank you.
Never go to.
They've never seen a black person there, Ron. They've never seen a black person.
Clayton.
You'd be a celebrity. They take pictures with you, hang you up in the tree, all kinds of special things. It would be good.
Oh, feel like Ed McMahon. Oh, Johnny.
Speaking of Ed McMahon, we should have a moment of silence for Dick Clark. Dick Clark, 82, just died.
Absolutely.
We should have a moment of silence.
Well,
a moment of silence and y'all clapped.
No, really.
And you know the guy that you never thought would age, but how old was he when he died?
82.
82. So yeah, we're all going to do that, and
Moment of
here we are.
silence.
But
10.
when you're going to do it,
9, 8. Sorry, Les, I couldn't help myself.
if you're going to age, come to Sarasota.
Home of the newlyweds and nearly deads.
You better believe it, baby. I'm telling you that right now. Yeah, it is the absolute truth that I am 56 years old and I am a hot son of a bitch in this town. I am tight. I am badass. I'm badass. What? Newport Richie? I don't know. Skews a little young up there.
Hey, Les, do you have the cardboard cutouts of yourself at home, too?
Yes, I do. I do.
They scare the shit out of me every night. Every time I walk out there to smoke, I think there's some weirdo guy standing there that climbed the fence. I'm like, holy, it's Les.
People don't.
Most narcissistic son of a bitch on the planet. Les
know.
McCurdy, ladies
I
and
didn't
gentlemen.
know it.
Les McCurdy.
People that are watching, we have these cardboard. My wife did it. My wife Pam made these cardboard cutouts of me. They're life size. They're scary as hell. And they look real as real can be.
Real.
And she was like, we're going to get them made because people come to the theater and you're not here. And they go, where's Les? You know, Les sitting here. And she goes, no, he's right over there. and the cardboard cutout. And it was like with the social media now, people will take their pictures with me and the cardboard cutout and they put it on their Facebook and they send it to all their friends because they're doing vile shit to me. They're doing, you wouldn't believe. You would, yeah, you would. Anyway, I'd like now to open up questions from the audience, and then we'll close. Yes, right here, and I'll repeat the question so people who are watching can know. Yeah.
Comedian has had to deal with a drunken heckler. What are some of your techniques for dealing with that, and do you have any good stories?
How do you deal with a drunken heckler? And do you have a better one than a whole crowd of drunken hecklers in Clayton, North Carolina?
Yeah, Johnson City, Tennessee. Drunk girl and her boyfriend. They were drunk when they came into the show. They're sitting right in the middle of the showroom talking the whole time. So I start engaging them, trying to, shut them down a little bit. And they just keep going. And I said to her, I asked the guy, I said, how long you guys been dating? He said 2 or 3 months. And I was like, yeah, I didn't think it could be long because you still take her in public. Which isn't that bad, but apparently that was her breaking point because she shot to her feet and rushed the stage. And I just planted my feet. I'm like, one way or another, I'm taking this bitch on. But luckily, they caught her 2 inches before she got there by the back of the pants. So, yay, comic wins.
Oh, yeah. Ron?
The weirdest heckler I had, see, the worst hecklers are the ones that don't know they're heckling. They think they're helping you out, and it was a drunk chick, and I'm at a bar, and I'm on stage. She actually walked up on stage and just walked right past me and turned the fan on, then walked back down and sat down. And so I said, you were hot? And she was like, yeah. I was like, okay, what about the rest of us? So I turned it off just to do something, but then she got back up and turned it back on, and then, so I started talking. She had on the high heels. I said, are you a stripper? And she said, yeah, I used to be. She jumped on stage, she started stripping, and the only thing I could do, it was a pole like on the other side of the room. I said, I bet you can't climb the pole. She ran over there, and
One thing that is, comics are very protective of their material, as we have to, but the one thing that all comics will allow any other comic to have is a heckler line. And that's always seemed to be the thing. And we all have a million of these stock lines, hey, glad you were here. We were going to build an asshole after the show, and we can use you as a blueprint. I don't come to where you work and jump up and down on the bed. I don't come to where you work and kick the broom out of your hand. And I don't come to where you work and slap the dick out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Okay. So they get progressively worse. But those heckle lines are like, for the comic community, it's like whatever heckle line you hear is open for use to shut them down. Another question? Anything else? Yes? No? Is there something back there? Am I missing?
No, they're trying to get up. Oh, way in the back.
Oh, in the back? I thought so. What is it? What the hell?
Holy fuck, it's Clayton, Tennessee. It's a fucking crazy Cajun. Shut the hell up, sir. Go back.
I think that was our resident Scandinavian guy. No, what? I'm sorry. We didn't what? I know. Go ahead and say it again. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Thank you. I should understand that. I should. No, I'm going to get it. Well, no, I will need a translator. Oh, what? Oh, Ron was on its cruise line. Was that it? Ron was on its cruise line. Was that what you said?
yes,
Now I've got it.
I was on the cruise line. I was. It was me. I didn't know that's what he said because, Jodi tried to get me to take some Skittles in the back, and with him, I was concerned.
That was it.
No, you know what? I
great.
actually was on with Ralphie May, I believe that was. I won a competition to be open up for Ralphie May, and we got to go to Mexico and all that.
Was that the 102.5 The Bone? With,
Yes, sir.
Cowhead.
With Cowhead, yeah.
Cowhead and the boys.
Yeah, I won that, and I got to kick it on the cruise.
I like the
That
bone.
was, I love that. It's one of my favorite radio shows.
I'll meet you after the show and give you a hug, all right?
Oh, that'll be good.
Just what I do.
Was there another question?
They're like, no, let
Are we
us go
finished?
home.
Okay. The last thing I'm going to ask you, and I've asked several comics this, and I want your right as we finish this, I'm going to do a drawing real quick for those passes to the LPGA tournament, and then Jodi and Ron will be right back here with their paraphernalia to sell, and here's the question for both of you: Is there a great comedy bit, a great story that's run around in your head? And it could be about something that's very personal to you, about your own personal life, or it could be something that's just globally social, something that maybe disturbs you or pisses you off. Is there something that you'd love to write a great bit about, but you haven't yet?
Yes.
Okay. Ron?
Well, I messed around with it a little bit. I got the two fathers. My dad was actually a preacher, but he was an ex-convict. He did like 10 years in prison, and when he got out, he was a preacher and all that, and he raised me and my brothers and all that kind of stuff. But every year, he would get into trouble. And I just, and I don't even know how to tell a joke, but he was from the era of like the late 50s and 60s where, the racism and all that. And his thing, he would always tell us that, like we get in trouble in school or something, them white folks ain't lying on you. That was his thing, no matter what. Like, them white folks ain't lying on you. It was the whole time where the white authority was always right. And he did so many things, but he would always say that somebody was lying on him. And he would keep going back to jail, get back out, trying to get his life back together. But the thing about it, though, is that I love him so much because he really tried with us, as me and my brothers. And while my pops was in the same city and he didn't even try, if that makes any sense.
Yes, absolutely.
So that I'm toying around with that.
That would be great, and you can see how that would be difficult to put together.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Jodi?
I don't do anything social or political or current or anything else because I'm a whore, and
But that is social
No.
and political.
Very social.
You don't get any more politically social than that.
but
How do you think you get elected? Go ahead.
I always try and keep, what I'm talking about current to my life. That's when I feel like I'm most genuine and really talking to you guys. Whether you believe this shit up here is true or not, it has to be true for me to be able to stand up here and talk about it. And I'd really like to talk about my dad more. Like I lost my dad last year. It's the first person really close to me I've ever lost. And it's hard, and some funny things have happened. Like, he is the background. Him smiling at me is the background on my computer. I thought that would be a nice way to remember him every day. And I was on the road watching YouPorn, and when I closed out the browser, there's my dad smiling at me. And I'm like, hi, Dad. Whoops. Hi, Dad.
Hello.
But I don't know how to do that on stage without being sad or actually being funny yet. So eventually the dad stuff will come, but yeah. Hi, Dad.
He's saying,
We'll look
that's my
forward to
girl.
that.
That's my girl.
Big round of applause for Jodi and Ron. We'll be here all week long. You may leave now. You may go. Thank you. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in on the web. You got the bucket there.